It's time for another compilation. Today, 10 of your favorite tips and tricks for Apple numbers. How can you add more rows or columns to your table in Apple numbers? There are two ways. The manual way, when you click on the table, and then you will see those two lines on the right side. Click and hold your mouse button down. Then you can push it in to reduce the amount of columns, or pull it out to add more columns. Same with two lines here at the bottom. Press on it, and while you're still holding your mouse button, you can push it up to reduce the amount and pull it down to add more rows. Or you can also head to the table panel on the right side and type it from the keyboard. How many rows do you need? Right now I got 20, I can increase that or decrease that. You can even type a very high amount like 200. Enter, and you got 200 rows already. Same for columns. 200, and now my table is really large. With a big table like that, you may consider zooming out a bit, so you can use the zoom here at the top left, so you can see more columns and more rows at the same time. So there are two ways of doing that, manual way, or you can just type it in here in the table section on the right. Let me show you how you can organize your table, changing the order, sorting your rows and columns using Apple numbers. Simply head to your table and click the letter responsible for the column you wanna sort by. Keep in mind, by default you will sort out the whole table. Alright, while we are here, you can see this little arrow pointing down. Click on that and you will see this long menu. And at the very top you'll have option to sort this column. So if I click the first option, I got it sorted by numbers here, 0, 3, 6, 12, 23, so that's nice. And corresponding rows in the next column sort correctly together with it. So most of us will need this feature. Let's try column B in very same thing. And now we got this sorted by letters. So we're starting with A, B, C. So it's pretty easy. You must just pay attention to this little arrow pointing down next to the corresponding column, and you can find those options over here. For more options, if you want to make a certain very specific sorting option, you got the Organize tab. You can head to Organize on the right side, and from here we got some additional options for sorting, for creating categories, or even applying some filters on your table. In order to open Apple Numbers file, you will need to run Apple Numbers that is available on iPad, Mac OS, and now also through the iCloud.com, the web version in your web browser. But what if you want to create an easy to open file by anybody without need for Apple Numbers? Then you should export your charts, your spreadsheet as a PDF. So let me show you how we can do that in Apple Numbers on Mac. Simply head to File at the top, search for Export to, and in the secondary menu you will have several choices: PDF, Excel, CSV, TSV, and old format for Apple Numbers. Our target is PDF today, so let's click the first option. Now in this pop-up window we can decide about some details. We can keep our print settings in. We can force the program to fit each sheet on a single page in that PDF. If there are images, that's the right case, but if you got raster images, you can decide about the compression quality. You can set up the password that is required to open this PDF. There are some advanced options as well, but we can keep them as default. There's page setup. And if you are happy with your settings, we can click Save. And here's this document I just saved as a proper PDF. Take a look. everything exported nicely. Text is still selectable, so we can select, copy and paste text and numbers easily. And our charts are vectors, so that in the full quality, easy to print in any size really. Today we're going to learn how to open Apple Numbers file on any computer, Windows or Chromebook as well. So we cannot really install the app outside the macOS, but we can use the web version of the software. So just head to iCloud.com. That's the website from Apple where we can sign in to use the app in the web browser. If you don't have Apple ID, no worries, you can create a free account. It's same as creating a Google account to use Google Docs or Google Spreadsheet, alright? So you don't need any Apple products, just click create new account and you can set up your free Apple ID account. I already got one, so I will just log in into my existing account. Here we are, I just log into iCloud and I can see web apps here on the list. I'm going to use Apple Numbers directly in the web browser here. So you can do it on Windows as well. Just click on the Apple Numbers. It will open the app for you. And from here you can actually upload the existing file you need to open. Now it's uploading. And I can simply double tap on it to open and edit this file in my web browser. So it's a web-based app, we can do all of the editing or even print it out from here. But what I'm going to do next, I will actually export this file to be an Excel file so I can edit that offline from my Microsoft Excel. To do that, click here, those three dots, and we want to download this document. We got four options, so Apple Numbers, PDF, Excel or CSV. I'm going for Excel, and now let's test it out. Let's open this Excel file. Here it is. So I managed to log into iCloud, upload my Apple Numbers file, and then I download this back as the native Excel file. Let me show you how you can change the backdrop color in Apple Numbers. So after you load your document, you probably got your table selected by default. So be sure you kind of click outside that table. So scroll down, click on the empty area below the table. Now you can see a background color property on the right side in your format section. From here we can change this color. As you can see, you can apply a new backdrop by selecting the color from the list here, from this little palette, or by using the color wheel and adjusting this kind of by hand yourself. Keep in mind, you can always go back to table and you can customize colors here using some table styles, or you can select certain cells, then go to the cell format section. So we are not in table, we are moving to cell. Our cells are selected and we can add a fill color to those certain cells. So that's how you can adjust the backdrop color or the color for individual cells in Apple Numbers. Let me show you how you can calculate the average in Apple Numbers. Simply position yourself below the column of numbers that you want to calculate average for. Then head to the insert in the tool panel above, and you should be able to see the average formula straight away. It's over here as a popular formula. So click on that, and program will even detect the numbers above for you and calculate them nicely. If you click on that cell, you will see at the bottom left that you got average from A2 to A7. So if it's not correct, we can still make some adjustments by double tapping on that cell and rearranging the range. We can also use that method to type the formula manually. So double tap on the cell, equals, and now simply start typing average, and it will show on the list. Click on that. Now click and hold to select the range, confirm with OK, and we are done. So, there are two popular ways of inserting formulas. From the Insert panel above on, simply by typing. Keep in mind, while typing in the formula, we start with the symbol equals. How can we add a chart or graph in Apple Numbers? First, select your data from the table. So click and hold to select the range. Then head to Chart tool at the very top. There are three categories: 2D, 3D, interactive. Let's stick with 2D for this presentation. I will use this donut chart here. And here it is. I got my donut chart in. That is linked directly to my data from the table. So if I change something, I'll change this lowest value here to 10. The chart is updated automatically. We don't need to add it again. Keep in mind, when you select the chart, there are many options for us to customize on the right side. We can show or hide the legend. We can have title of this chart. We can decide about colors that are used. We can add a backdrop. We can add a shadow, and we can also change the chart type even now. So we can change to classic pie, for example. Keep in mind, there are some additional sliders that help us to adjust the visual aspect of the data here. We can have a data point names directly to numbers. So feel free to explore those options in the panel on the right side. That's how you insert the chart in Apple Numbers. First, select the data and then click Chart at the very top and select the chart that you need. Let me show you how you can sum, how you can add all of the values in the column using a formula in Apple Numbers. The easiest way is to position yourself just below those values. So click on the cell below, head to Insert tab at the top, search for formula, and the very first one is SUM. Click on that, and here it is. You got the total value. We can check that quickly by changing the value here. So let's increase this value by 30. And it's updated, so the formula is working just fine. Alternatively, you can just type the formula yourself. So position yourself here below and start with the equals symbol. And now we can select the formula on the right, or we can just type it from the keyboard. SUM. Okay. Now I'm going to select the cells I want to add together. So I click on the first one and drag it to the bottom. Now I confirm with this green OK. And we got the very same result. So you can insert formulas from the Insert tab, or you can simply type them in if you can remember the formula. Let me show you how we can autofill dates in our tables using Apple Numbers. So simply type the date first. You can type it in multiple formats. The program should be able to detect that that's date. Take a look at the bottom here. I got a date format, and you want to be sure go to the cell menu on the right. And as you can see, it's detected as date, but you can also just change it by hand. But 99% it will be automatically detected as date and time. Alright, so with this first date, now you can simply drag this yellow point, whatever you want to drag down, like that, and you got like following days. Or you can also drag this to the right and you get the same thing, following days. That's the way how you can autofill dates in Apple Numbers. Alternatively, we can type the date, and then we can use formulas. So for example, if I want to have a next day, I just type equals B2, that's the date I type already, +1. And then OK. And this way I use formula to fill the date in this cell, and of course I can drag it and duplicate that formula. The advantage of using formula is if I change this date here at the beginning, everything updates automatically nicely. And also, you don't need to just put +1. We can modify this formula to be, let's say, +7, so next week. And this way, you can have your dates, like same day every week. So there are two main ways of autofill dates in ApoNumbers. One, simply put the date and drag the yellow point. Second, put the formula when you kind of equal the original date plus number, how many days after that day the next date should be. Let's learn how to create a nice pixel art using ApoNumbers. Let's choose a blank for our new document. Just hit create. And you will see a default table. What we need to do, we need to change this table a bit. So let's click on this circle over here. This way we can move the whole table around. Now we can also extend the table. We can make it larger by pushing and pulling those two lines over here. And we got two lines at the bottom as well. Alternatively, we can just type the values here on the right side. So we can make it 24, 24. So we got 24 rows and 24 columns. We don't need any header or footer. So let's change that to 0, 0. Alright, now we need to resize all of the cells. As you know, pixel art is based on square pixels, so let's just grab the bottom corner and try to resize the table until we see more squarish cells. Something like this will do. You can also pay attention to the size of the table. It should be almost equal. Alright, we got nice square cells. I don't need title. Can you see this table 1 thing over here? Let's switch this off. No title, alright. And a bit of final tuning. And I think we are ready. With the document set up, now we can start changing colors for certain cells. You can change the color of one cell, or you can select multiple cells. And then be sure you're looking at cell, not a table. As cell properties, fill color, and from here we can easily modify the fill color for certain cells, just like that. If you want to remove the fill, as you can see at the very bottom here, you can select no fill, and the cells will back to become white again. You can play with those features, and if you are ready, you can export your pixel art as an image file so others can enjoy your art even if they do not own ApoNumbers. So if our pixel art is ready, so let's just quickly draw some eyes here. And maybe over here as well. A bit of smile. Alright, that was really quick. I'm sure you can do better than me. If your pixel art is ready, we can hit File and we can explore option to export this. So we can export to PDF, Excel, and in our case we will choose PDF. Take a look. While exporting, we can change some settings here. In our case, it seems like everything will just fit on one page anyway, but we can turn it on. Advanced options, we can keep it as default and we hit save. And this way we managed to export a PDF with our pixel art, so now we can share it with everybody.